Okay, the sock game's back.
Yeah, these are Stranger Things. I don't know the guy's name because I've never watched the show, but they're fly anyways.
It's Vecna.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Vecna,
I'm sorry.
guess, is what
I
we
forgot we
figured out.
looked it up.
So,
Yeah.
okay, there's today's.
It's going to be Halloween socks all month. I found enough of them.
All right. Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, so we're starting to lay out some plumbing. We have a fuel system, the boil system, all the 3AN stuff for the rife blocks, all that stuff's laid out. So how I like to start this process is I like to put a fitting on every single thing that we're gonna need. So if you see here, we got a fitting for the pan vac on the valve cover. We got a fitting here for the fuel return line, another fitting here for the rife block, over here for the sensor. So the reason I'm pointing these out is, and there's like a water line, is because you don't want them to like lay on top of each other and make a mess. And you also want to make sure that they can't be confused. We're going to label every wire or every hose, but you want to make sure that they can't be mixed up and confused. So every single fitting or every single adapter gets a fitting screwed onto it, and everything gets orientated where it's going to be so that we have a game plan of how everything's going to lay out. So here is my plan for the cooling system. These hoses here for the top of the cylinder head are going to run over to here to the top of the radiator in this area right here, okay? And then we're going to have a dry break up here, okay? When they go to race mode, they're gonna unhook the dry brakes here from the top of the radiator and disconnect these dry brakes that are gonna go to the bottom of the radiator where the oil pump, or where the water pump is. Their whole radiator will come out, and then you'll have these hoses, these loose hoses up here from the tops of the cylinder heads, loose, laying here, and you'll be able to turn them around and click them back in right there onto the motor plate. So I think that the cooling system thing is going to work out pretty good. I ran up to Matt at Performance Fab yesterday. The radiator's all wrapped up, and we've got our harness. We already went over that. And again, we've got fittings here. Like I threaded the fittings onto everything. Just one, to make sure that we got everything, and two, to make sure that that nothing's going to interfere with each other. But then here's the opposite end of that dry brake. So this will be removed. All right, so you pull this, and these will get looped back into the block. So I think this is going to work out pretty good. Thank you, Matt, Performance Fab, for welding on some fittings for us. This one's a little bit big because I told him to not plate the whole radiator off. This had a 20 ORB on it, and we needed a 12. So I said, man, just don't bother plating the whole thing. Just stack it on top. So he cleaned it all up and then stacked it on top. So worked out really good. Looks great. That's going to work good. So this whole thing is going to be a module. We've already talked about this, how this is going to come on and off. And this will stay. This hose will stay, but then it'll have a dry break up at this other end. Be pretty nice. So we are making a lot of progress. I think by the end of today, the majority of this car should be plumbed, and the only thing we have to wait for, that'll be here, I believe, Tuesday, is a couple of little things for motion. The front wheel speed thing, we had the wheel off, but they didn't send the hardware's a little wrong, so I have to have them send the hardware, and I also have to have them send some more of those 10AN bulkheads. So, but anyway, this thing is coming together. We're going to make a new crossover in the back here. The back gets a little busy, so this is going to be a new crossover for fuel. 12AN. We're going to use all Brown and Miller on this car. I'm going to show you how we crimp it and everything too. So it's really high quality stuff. It's super nice. So we will get to work, and then Laura's filling orders and doing a couple other things. So when she's freed up. She's going to come out and film while we're working. But I just wanted to take a couple minutes and kind of show where we're at and where we're going to be here by the end of the day. So today is Monday, and I think if all goes well, by Tuesday night or Wednesday, this thing should be fired up. So as long as we get the parts that we need, and as long as we get the parts that we need, we should be good. Oh, yeah, there's the Rife block. So all labeled, real nice. We've got labels for all the hoses on both ends, so they can't mix it up. Yeah, here we go. Forgot to show you all this. So yeah, we label. So like this is going to be your oil feed T. So like I've got a feed in, turbo oil feed out, pan vac sensor, 2 of them for like each one of the Rife blocks. We label every side or both sides of it so that you can't mix it up. You know what I mean? You know which one's which. So it's going to come out pretty nice. So we do this with the majority of the cars that we do. If we're making these little hoses, we always label them all. So it's easy for them to get mixed up. But there you go. Oil map. We've got water and intake air temp back there. That's going to go on the back of the intake. Here's those Racetronics dry brakes. So these are pretty exciting. This is all titanium, so these are sweet. But we're going to use these dry brakes here for the transmission and for the what's it called, the primer pump, to be able to drain the system out. So I'll show you how that's going to work here shortly. So, all right, we back to it. Happening.
We got hose in different area codes.
Yep. So we're plumbing. So this is Brown and Miller. This is their high temp poly line. This is in my opinion, I like this line the most that they make. They make a couple different jackets. This is a double convoluted hose. It is extremely flexible. So there you go. Really tight bend radius. And they have in my opinion, this is the nicest product on the market. They're proud of it. They're very proud of it. but it's nice. So if you want nice, you have to pay for it. So anyway, let's go through how to build this hose. So this is for the primer pump. We'll show you that in a minute, like how it all works out, but you have a crimp collar. So this is your crimp collar. So you slide your crimp collar on first. This is your hose. This one's already crimped. Slide your crimp collar on, and then you grab your, this is an expander. So it threads in. So you just put just a tip in, right?
Just tip, see how it feels.
Just drop tip in, and then start threading away. So thread it, back it off. Now these are non-swivel fittings. They make them in swivel as well, but we try to avoid using swivel fittings as much as possible because it introduces another leak point. So drop the fitting in, and then pop your tape off from cutting. Get rid of that. Maybe it gets off your stuck damn finger. There we go. And then slide your crimp collar up, and there you go. Now we crimp it. So this is all their hoses like this. This is 6, but we've already done 10 and 12 and whatnot. We'll go look at that. So we can go over here and look at the crimper. And so just a standard custom crimp D105. Pop it up through here, and then grab your collar, drop it down till it's level. Put your little pusher thingy on there, make sure it isn't screwed up. Squeeze the button. Now this is 6 AN, so this calls to be rotated and crimped twice. So there you go. You got yourself a hose that is nice and crimped.
Thank you.
So we'll pressure test this, and so we'll fill it up to 200 psi, and then make sure that nothing leaks. But we pressure test all of them. So that's about it. Another little tip: if you're making hoses, no matter what they are, no matter what brand they are, it doesn't matter. No matter what the hose is being used for, I always drop a little bit of Maxima assembly lube. Other assembly lubes would work, but I like this stuff the most. Plus it smells like really good. So I drop a little bit on the threads and rotate it around a little bit. And then you want a little bit to land down there at that conical seat. Probably can't see in there, but anybody with an AN fitting will know. So I like to spin that around. Everything works better when it's lubed up a little bit. So drop a little bit of lube in there,
Cinnamon.
Yeah, it does. It smells nice. It's pretty nice, huh? So you drop a little bit on there, and now she's good to go. The lube actually helps it kind of seal up a little bit too. So there's been a couple of other brand fittings that have problems sealing, and lube kind of helps that out a little bit. So anyway, yeah, always lube them. Don't ever go in dry, So ain't nobody like that, So now,
Not fun for anyone.
no, usually not. So this hose right here, this here hose right here, this is 1/2 of the dry brake. So come on in here nice and deep like. This is gonna thread into here, onto the side of the pump over here. I still have to pressure test this, so this is just gonna be a mock-up thing for y'all. But I'm gonna put that on there, and then this dry brakes on to here, like so. So now, when they want to pump the methanol tank out, what they would do is disconnect this. We'll leave this long enough. Yeah, we're gonna have to cut this. We'll get rid of this. That ain't gonna stay. But anyway, yeah, to mock up. Yeah. But anyway, this will be loose, and then you can just bring it over here, point it at a bucket, and we'll give them the other mating side of this with like a long whip on it, so they can just run the hose into a bucket and drain it out. So we've got one there, and we've also got another one right here. There's another dry brake right here, so that when they want to remove the cell, they can do the same thing here. So you can pump out the cell here, or you can just drain it out here. So anyway, that is what we got going on here. So we got 12 AN for the pump outlet into the rail, the fuel pump, goes through a filter, hits the back there, loops around, hits the regulator, returns to the fuel cell here. So I'm gonna talk with Cameron and have him weld, I think I wanna have them switch over to Wiggins, not so much here, but down there at for the 20 AN. So the 20 AN hose that we make for this will work for racing, but I think they're gonna have to make another 20 AN hose for the, once they start like drag and driving this car, because there's really no dry brake solution to go in between these, because if you look over here, damn, that's a huge bitch, you know? So this thing's massive, so nobody makes a dry brake this big, and if they did, it wouldn't flow 100%, and this is on the suction side of the pump, which these pumps don't do a very good job at sucking. You know what I mean? They could do a real good job at blowing, but they kind of suck at sucking. So anyway, yeah, that's about it. I think we're just about wrapped. We're wrapping up today. We'll be able to wrap up the plumbing, and we still got the radiator stuff to do. But that's only a couple hoses, and we'll be Gucci. Justin's hammering down on some transmission lines, some tranny stuff. You know, he's working on the trannies. Yeah. So we got bulkheads. When the car goes up under the, when we go up with the lift, we'll go underneath there and take a look at that. So, but all right. So we got the radiator mocked up. We got the hoses made. So this is the way it'll work. You've got 120 degree dual swivels coming out here, and dual swivel is important. You've got these hoses, these lower hoses are going down here to the water pump. Okay. And then we've got our electrical connector here that Cameron's gonna make a little mount for. So I'll sit right there like that. So when it's time to remove the radiator, what you'll do is these bottom ones come off of the block. Boom, removed. Okay. Now we've got a special radiator mount in place, which is a bunch of zip ties, because Cameron didn't make a mount for the radiator yet. So we left some of this stuff a little long here. So then pop this dry brake off, pop this dry brake off. Dual swivel's important here. You go click. There we go. And you go click over here. Yeah. There we go. Oh, I had it routed better the other way. I don't remember what I did. I had a good routing for this before. I don't remember what I did, but it doesn't matter. You get the point. I did a good job before. There we go. There we go. Now you're good to go. Now the whole radiator can come out. So here, Daniel, grab a pair of flushies. Yeah. Give us a cut here. And then get this out over here. All right, now just grab your radiator here. Don't drop it. And boom, radiator's out. That's pretty sweet, if I do say so myself. Pretty genius, I believe. So, yeah, that's it. Worked out pretty good. And then when you want to put the fuel cell back in, you know, we ain't gonna do it right now, but I mean, that's all you do. Just drop the fuel cell back in, shebang. All right, well, that's what I wanted to show everybody, because I thought it was pretty sweet. All right, see ya. Hey,
Okay, so you got,
is that camera looking at me?
yeah, it's also pointing at the car.
It's like pointed everywhere. This thing's wild. Anyway, we're back. And we're underneath the mullet. We're up underneath of her skirt. So, what we got going on here, Cameron and his boys have built a trailer hitch that is going to bolt up here and here. And we have a transmission cooler that is going to be attached to it, but it is not in place at the moment. This is the trans cooler. So this is from Earl's. This is a Ultra Pro cooler. This is what we use on my personal car for years for the transmission. We use these on a lot of cars, a lot of the big drag and drive cars. The Ultra Pro cooler is a Setrab core with a spowl fan. Works fantastic. These are, in my opinion, the best coolers on the market. So if you need a good transmission cooler or oil cooler, I use one of these for an oil cooler also. These are the move. So we've got Racetronics dry brakes, 2 of them, and then we have the mating side up underneath the car. So the plan is when Cameron gets this thing back, he is going to mount the transmission cooler somewhere about here, okay? And then we'll have our dry brake, our hoses right here, and you see that we have them looped right here.
That's what I was about to ask. That's what those are for.
Yep, so that's the trans cooler lines. So they, when they race the car, they'll be pulling the hitch off, and the transmission cooler will come off with the hitch, and the trans cooler lines are looped. So no leaks, no nothing. So when you want to hook the car back up to go street driving, beep, bop, boop, and we're back in business. So I think this is going to be the best way to go about it. Now, people are going to look at this and go, why isn't this attached? Well, because if you notice,
We're not done with that yet.
right, so we left it loose, and we left some stuff a little long for them so that if they need to route it around the way, because he said he had some stuff that he may be putting up in through here, potentially wheelie bars. I'm not 100% sure. So they have a little bit of work to do in the back of the car, and we left this a little loose for them just so they can move things around however they need to. Here's the connector for the trans cooler fan right here. So that's all in. We got our trailer hitch plug, that's all done. Got our fly tail lights. Look at them.
Oh, someone's going to be mad about that.
What?
That you pulled the plastic.
Oh, it'll be all right.
Sure, someone will have
It'll be
something to say.
okay. So these are 6 AN lines, and then these 2 are 10 AN for the pump gas system. So there's 2 pump gas tanks in this car, or truck, boat truck, El Camino, whatever we want to call it, right? So we've got 2 10-gallon tanks or 11-gallon tanks, and then they have a balance tube. So we made a hose that just balances the cells. The pump is over here in this cell. So what this does is you can fill up either one of them and it'll just stay at the same level. And tons of capacity. So these are the 10 AN lines that are going up to the front for feed and return for the pump gas system. If we go up here, let's look over here on your side. We've got some of those Motion Raceworks bulkheads that are feeding through the back bulkhead of the car. So those 10 AN lines go back. All this stuff is kind of modular. It's nice so that if they have, a tire come apart and take out a line or something, they can just change out just that hose. And then here, over here, is the 6 AN lines for the transcooler. And we tried to make them symmetrical. 10 and 6 AN is a little bit, hard to make exactly symmetrical, but Justin laid these out to be as symmetrical as possible and as tight as possible. Now, let's look up front. Go up there. Those pump gas fuel lines come up through here, and these are the bulkheads that we're waiting on from Motion. But we use tie hardware, pretty fly, Tap the mid plate. So here's his pump gas lines right here. And then on the other side, we've got the pump gas regulator. Oh, sorry. We've got the pump gas regulator. We've got the feed, the return line, whole 9 yards. It's all down there. Pretty slick willy. And then of course everything's loomed and labeled. Can't screw it up. Well, you probably could, but you know, hopefully you don't. So this thing came out pretty good. I have already started programming all of the electronics, like the ECU and the smart wire. And tomorrow we will be testing all the I/O on it. We're gonna do some video on it because there's a lot of good info that novices that may not do this all the time might not know how to do this. So tomorrow we'll teach you how to test fire injectors, pressure test sensors to make sure that they're scaled properly and they're reading properly. Test fire your parachute handle, your shift solenoid, your boost control solenoids, force the boost control solenoids to run a boost curve, a whole bunch of stuff. We're gonna test absolutely everything because when we hand a car back to a customer, I don't like, and this doesn't matter who the customer is, I don't like the customer having to try to figure out how to do anything. We like to make sure that everything's just right. You know, they don't have to guess at nothing. So tomorrow we should be firing it up. So we're gonna fire it up, maybe roll it out on the dyno, I don't know. We'll see. So.
I'm gonna play it by ear.
Ear, is it ear or year?
Ear.
Ear?
Play it by.
By ear? It's not year, huh? Oh,
No, I don't really know what it means.
I don't either. If anybody in the comments knows what it means,
Yeah.
I'd be interested to know. So yeah, tomorrow we are going to do all those fun things and make sure everything's working and everything is checked out, and we'll fire the thing up. So we could have fired this car up a while ago. Well, not with the plumbing, but like the way we do things, I always want to fire the car up dead last because once it's fired up, it can leave. So if everything else works, you don't get the satisfaction of firing them up until you make sure everything else works. So do all the hard work now so that the rest of it's gravy. That's it. That's all I think I got. You got anything for me?
I don't.
Good.
I don't.
Good. It's late. I'm going to finish wrapping up a couple things, and then we'll get back on it in the morning. Peace out, Cub Scouts.